Lionel done got his freak on, y'all. So now Chester is the talk of the town because of it. Sam got some issues going on with her documentary. She being slighted in all kind of ways. And Brooke is contemplating leaving the Independent. We're talking all things Dear White People.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, Benny?
What's up? Glad to be back.
Glad to be back.
Right?
Were you anticipating this night?
I was a little caught off guard. I was a little caught off guard by what we watched.
A little caught off guard. Welcome, everyone. Right now, you are tuned into Dear White People, Volume 3, Chapter 7. Tonight, we're going to give you all things Chester, the new blog that's out that everybody's raving about. We're going to talk about Sam's meeting with Cynthia Frey, and we're going to talk about Brooke's eavesdropping at the end of the show.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that, I just want to introduce myself for those of you who are watching for the first time. I'm your host, Portia Carter, and joining me is my wonderful co-host, Benny Adams.
What's up, guys? Excited to be back for yet another episode
of Dear White People.
Jinx.
Yes. Now I gotta shut up. But actually I can't because I gotta keep talking.
Exactly, so please don't.
Here we are. Okay, let me get your overall thoughts of the show.
Overall thoughts, it was a cool episode. I liked it. I like how they're exploring sexuality in this episode, so that was really cool to see.
Okay.
What did you think?
I was waiting on you to ask me that. So, for this show, a lot transpired. It was interesting, to say the least.
It was very interesting.
Very, very interesting. I think the most interesting part was how it started, because I guess you can kind of see where it's going from there, how the blog on campus, the talk of the town, is now Chester. So let's get into that. So as we know, Lionel just so happened to start a blog about his, I guess, coming out stories, or his going to the deep end of the pool, in Deontay's voice.
Yeah.
Going to the deep end of the pool in his sexuality, trying to figure things out. So he started a blog about it. And now it is the talk of campus. Everybody's into it. Everybody wants this person to keep writing. They want him to keep writing. They want him to find love. They want to know what's going on in his head. What do you think about Chester, this blog situation?
I think it's cool. Like, Lionel is one of my favorite characters. His whole voice that he does when he's writing his blog throws me off a little bit.
So weird.
Yeah, it throws me off a little bit. But Lionel, I like his character because I feel like he's still trying to find himself. He says he's looking for a boyfriend, but I also think he's just looking to be accepted in the gay community.
Yeah. Looking for acceptance. And he clearly, doesn't really have it that well, because as we see, he's sitting there and he's, walking past, listening to everybody talk about Chester. And then he just so happens to sit down and starts writing again. And while he's writing, in comes Deontay and the crew. And they all dressed up in drag wear. They all, looking real fancy. Look like they had a nice time. They took Sam with them. Took everybody but Lionel.
But yeah, exactly.
So
not Lionel.
Yeah, so they come in and Lionel just like, oh, y'all look like y'all had fun. What's up? And Deontay let him know, oh, we was in the deep end of the pool. We went to the drag bar.
Right.
And he feels slighted because he wasn't invited.
I guess they thought, or they even said this, they thought that he just wasn't ready for it. They didn't think he would enjoy it.
Well, not that he wouldn't enjoy it, but that he wouldn't know what to do with it. Like he called it swimming around the pool with his floaties on.
Right.
So it's like when you new to something, you don't know what's going on. And it's not necessarily, you can't really say if you enjoy it or if you like it or anything of that nature, because you don't really know. Just like, I was trying to find a comparison, but the one that came to my mind was not okay. So we just not even gonna go there. Like I said, so sometimes when you're new to things, you just have to get to know it.
But yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I feel like they still should have invited him just to see, because you're never gonna know if you're gonna like something or if you're not gonna like something without trying it out.
Yeah.
So that's why he should have been invited, so then he could have that experience and say, this is cool, this is my thing, or I'm gonna pass on this for now on.
Yeah. Well, his thing right now clearly is this whole Chester block, because even when they came in, they brought it up because obviously this is a topic of discussion. And when they bring it up, Sam mentions it because she's just basically like, you know what, I got in with the in crowd because, she gonna basically go along with the flow with any gay male who has access to wigs and liquor, okay? That's what she was on. But then Deontay equates Chester with, he said he called it literal Viagra. Literal Viagra. Yeah. And in that moment, I bring that up because in that moment, I was thinking that Lionel would eventually say something that reveals himself, but he didn't. He's just going along with the flow of the conversation of how everybody wants this guy to basically get his freak on.
Yeah, I think Lionel will reveal it sooner or later, but I think right now he's still testing the waters and just filling everything out and seeing like how popular this thing can go.
Facts, yes. So Lionel goes with Deontay. Well, he don't go with Deontay. He goes by himself, but he ends up in this dungeon.
Yes.
In this sex dungeon.
It's a literal sex dungeon.
A literal sex dungeon for gay men. And he goes, the first thing he grabs is the food. And Deontay like, no, that's on your way out. So he already doing stuff wrong. How did you feel about his encounter with that?
Just when he first went in, the first thing he had to do was just strip off all of his clothes and then just going in and
no clothes, no phones allowed.
Exactly. And then going in and just seeing this whole environment. I'm pretty sure it was just a bunch of emotions went through him. I guarantee you he was shocked. He was excited, just a bunch of different emotions for him.
Well, for me, I felt he was very uncomfortable. He looked uncomfortable on the screen, and he really was there to meet somebody and be personal with somebody. He wasn't there to just, get his freak on, like he started to. He really wanted to have an intimate conversation with somebody, and lo and behold, he does.
Because he even said it. He was like, does anyone just want to talk in here?
He was like, does anybody want a boyfriend?
Yeah.
And Michael, a.k.a. Little Brown Eyes, lets him know that people don't come here for that. And they leave off in this conversation, and now they have some sparks flying.
Yeah. He might have found that special one.
Right, might have found that special one. Speaking of special one, I think we are, the special one for the viewers. Why don't you tell them
hands
how?
Down, of course. We here at AfterBuzz just want to thank you guys for making us the ESPN of TV talk. And in order for us to grow even more, we need your help. So if you're on YouTube right now, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you're on iTunes, go ahead and give us a 5-star. Working at AfterBuzz means so much to us, and we just want to continue to grow and learn and give you guys amazing, wonderful content.
Yes. Thank you for helping us become the ESPN of TV talk. Okay, so we have this issue with Sam because she just so happened to have this documentary she's working on, and she goes to her quote-unquote hero, Cynthia Frey, and Cynthia all Z-way slighted her, basically how Jerry Schuyler did in the beginning. Let's talk about it.
So I like in this season, we have characters meeting their idols, and they're starting to turn out into something that they didn't see, pretty much. So you have Sam and you have Cynthia. You have Coco and the professor that she wanted to get a signature from. And then you have, why am I forgetting this one? Reggie and Moses. So I like how they're going in that type of direction. But with Sam and Miss Frey, I really like that it was just unexpected with Sam. You know, she came into this thinking that, you know, they were going to get along, they were going to have so much in common, and then it was just the complete opposite. And we find out that, you know, Cynthia wasn't the hero that Sam thought she was.
Yeah, she basically told her, if you would just stop trying to be me, then your problems will be all cleared up. Like, who said anything about trying to be you?
But
I brought you. I don't think she was trying to be her. I think that Sam is really working on something here. She's taking all types of things. She's taking people's viewpoints. She's taking people's. She's even taking revolutionary speeches, like from Marie Antoinette.
I love that.
The one who won the drag ball.
I love that.
She even put her clips in there, and it was just like, everybody has this form of expression that is their true, authentic self, and she's willing to dive deep into those stories and find out why everybody is the way that they are and how they got to this point. And I think she has a great thing going here, and Cynthia doesn't really understand the dynamic because she feels like it's boring or it doesn't equate to something that she would have done. And because Sam idolizes her, she's, I guess, senses that on her and then treats her like she's just nothing, like a fangirl.
Right. Yeah, I see your point, but I also agree with what she said with when she said, if you stop trying to be me, your problems will be solved. And not necessarily for Sam, just for anyone in general. You know, if you look up to someone and you want to be exactly like them, you know, you're never going to reach your full potential. You want to be your own person. You want to be that one person that no one else is. You want to be yourself.
Yeah.
So I that's what I got from that, from when she said that.
I got that too, but I'm thinking like Sam is herself. Sam is going to be Sam. Like, I've never seen a Cynthia Frey film. So I don't know what that entails.
Right. Yeah.
But what I can say is what Sam is doing is authentic to her. She just walks around with her camera and she interviews people, or she watches things happen, or she has conversations, or she's just turning her camera on right in the middle of a catastrophe.
But
you know?
I think Sam is still in a roadblock because, you know, she was trying to get Cynthia's advice, like asking, like, is it good? Like, what do you think I should do? So I think she's still in that roadblock of, how do I get this project to the next level? And she needs to figure out how to surpass that blockage.
She does. And speaking of surpassing blockage, we have a thing with Coco and Mr. Queensfield. You know, she is really stressed out at this moment, and she is still seeing baby girl.
Yeah.
She is still seeing baby girl at all realms. But I like how when she talks to Sam about it, she just lets her and Joelle know, like, I want to be the first Black woman to get the fellowship and go to France. And I love Sam's response when she just says, well, maybe the second Black woman needs to see the first Black woman do it without Queensfield.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
I really like that because I don't know. I love Coco, and I think her passion of being the first Black woman is just overtaking everything. And I think she needs to take a step back and think, you know, why does she really want this? You know, I think being the first Black woman to do it, I think that's a great accomplishment. But I think she needs to dig deeper and ask herself, why does she really want this fellowship?
Yeah. I think she wants it for the right reasons, but I do agree with what you're saying. And, you know, Sam does too, because Sam is finding things out on her own as well. And she's going off into different ventures. And after she has the meeting with Jerry, letting him know that, you know, Cynthia was basically an asshole to me, and Jerry had the same experience, they kind of understood each other, and it gave Sam some type of idea of depth, or how she got to the bottom of the pyramid.
Right.
How she felt like basically
everything is connected.
Everything is connected and everybody needs to work together in order for this to happen. And she brings this to Lionel, and lo and behold, the talk of the pyramid is back up.
Yeah. And I was actually really glad that that topic came back up because they haven't really talked about it that much. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is I really thought that was going to be the main plot of this entire season, but it's really not.
It's really not at all. It's the very least of what's going on.
And that was like the big cliffhanger of season 2. Yeah.
What I did like is in that moment, Sam did let Lionel know that, hey, you should go for little brown eyes because what? I know you're Chester. So that was the first revealing of Chester.
Secret's out.
Secret is out. Speaking of secrets out, the last thing on our list to discuss, Brooke is eavesdropping on conversations with Muffy and Coco. Mm-hmm. So at first, Brooke was debating this whole episode of leaving the New Independent newspaper or segment, whatever they have going on. Anyway, so while she is writing her resignation, she just so happens to eavesdrop on the conversation and hears Muffy talking about being sexually assaulted by Moses Brown. Yeah. How did you feel about that?
You know what? It shocked me, and at the same time it didn't, because I kept saying there's something up with Moses. Like, I knew there was something up with Moses, and we don't know yet. We have no idea yet. He could be in the wrong. He could be completely innocent. One thing I do know is I just do not like Brooke whatsoever. I know we'll talk more about that in
I actually hate her.
The next after show. Hate is such a strong word. But yeah, I just don't like her, and kudos to the actor though for portraying her, because she portrays her very, very well. But yeah, it was definitely a big cliffhanger for this episode, because it makes me want to find out, who is telling the truth and who isn't. And I'm really glad that they're bringing up this topic, because it's such a big discussion happening in our world right now, especially with the Me Too movement going on. So that was really cool for the writers to incorporate that into the show.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Well, I guess we'll find out what's really going on the next episode, right?
I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited too. I'm just a little bummed because I wanted Moses's money. I wanted Moses's issue to be something dealing with money or coming there to use the students or something. I didn't expect this bomb that they just dropped on us. And then especially having Brooke be the person who eavesdrops on it. Like, she just tried to play Kelsey and got caught up in it. Like,
it makes sense though, because if you remember in a couple of episodes before, we see I keep on wanting to call her Buffy, but we see Muffy going up to Moses, and she's kind of like flirting with him a little bit. Remember that? So they're kind of like putting the pieces together now.
Got it. I get it. Well, I guess we'll find out what's going on in the next episode, guys. Yeah. Well, that's the end of our show. Until next time, I'm Portia Carter. You can find me on all things Portia Carter. I'm out.
And I'm Benny Adams. You can find me on all social media at Benny J. Adams.
Bye.
See you guys later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.